Hey everyone, this is Dr. M. This is my weekly reflection on my experiences teaching ethnic studies. So this week I'm a little late and I'm sorry about that. This should be week 4 and now this is week 5. Week 4, leading up to week 4, it was incredibly busy on top of teaching the classes. Things got really busy both at work and at home. Specifically, I heard from the IRB that my application for my research study was approved. Yay, big deal. So I had to prioritize and move some things around and really focus on launching the study with my collaborator. The questionnaire was successfully launched and it's going great. To date, I've received about 130 submissions, and out of the possible 175, and hope to keep that level of engagement throughout the entire process, which should end for this part at the end of fall semester. So part of my work will also be helping my department's assessment process. So I'll be sharing my findings with them as they collect all the data that they have across the Ethnic Studies Department office specifically and the Chicano Studies department specifically on the impact that ethnic studies is having on the student population. So I'm pretty excited to help with this data collection and application. So what can I say? I'm a huge research geek. All right, so back to the topic at hand. This week, we focused on some introductory material to the Latine community. One of the important things the students reviewed was the film Empire of Dreams, Latino Americans. It gave a historical overview of the immigration and migration stories of Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans to the United States. And I'll be sure to put a link to the film in the video notes. So if you take a look at it and see what you think, it's about an hour, about 55 minutes. See if you can integrate it into your own content for your courses. That would be great. We also read the racialization of Mexican Americans and Puerto Ricans from 1890s to the 1930s. And this is an article written by Victor Rodriguez Dominguez. Part of helping the students create connections between groups, I post some optional readings that stitch together our individual cultural and cultural groups. One such article spoke about the history of the Underground Railroad and how it extended into the northern part of Mexico just before 1865. There's indications that formerly enslaved or currently enslaved Africans during that time escaped down south through the southern states into northern Mexico, which had abolished slavery 50 years before we did in the United States. So 1865, that's the signing of the 13th Amendment. Almost to a student, none of them were aware of this history. So I am incredibly happy that they're taking this class to help fill in the blanks of their knowledge of this very unique hemispheric history. We also listened to part of a podcast by Kid Merrill called What It Means to Be Latino. It was yet another attempt to help students understand the within-group difference of the Latina community that forms our identity and our experiences collectively and individually. Kid Mero is Afro-Latino from the Dominican Republic, raised in the United States, and speaks of a very familiar experience of not being believed when he says he speaks Spanish because he's Black, like me. So even listening to the podcast with the students, I found myself going, yep, absolutely, yep, I've been there, absolutely, I've heard that before, yep, that was my experiences too. So for many of us who don't fit the conventional image of a Latino, this is a really common experience. So again, I'll put a link to the podcast in the video notes. And since we're studying and sort of an introduction to the Latina community, one really cool academic extracurricular experience I was able to arrange was a field trip. So over the summer, I submitted a grant proposal to my department to fund about up to 40 students to go to the Cheech Marin Museum of Chicano Art and Culture It opened in June, and I thought, wow, this would be a great experience for the students to have as an optional experience for them. So I wrote up a proposal, and it was approved, which was wonderful to hear. And now I'm managing that process, making sure the students are notified, and they submit the student conduct agreement that they have to fill out on behalf of the university. And so I started with my 5 sections of Ethnic Studies 101, and then I extended that same opportunity to all the classes that are also classified as Introduction to Ethnic Studies. And now I'm extending it to this same opportunity to all classes taught within the Ethnic Studies office across all 3 departments: African American Studies, Asian American Studies, and Chicana Studies. We should have enough for at least one tour of about 30 students and 5 instructors, all going for free. We'll have to arrange carpool because the students and the instructors have to find their way there, but they won't have to pay to enter. And that's what was really important to me, that they have some access that isn't too cost prohibitive for them to take advantage of this opportunity. And I was able to do this, and hopefully the students will take advantage of the opportunity. Okay, that's it for now. I'll put links to the movies and the podcast I referenced in the notes. And as a friendly reminder, I've signed up for Buy Me a Coffee. So if you are so inclined to and want to share your love and support for what you're learning through my videos, buy me a coffee. Thank you, and see you next time.